Okay, guys, welcome to Marketing and Commerce Management 2. The topic we will be addressing today, the name is project management. Okay, project management. And this particular topic is really important nowadays because there are nowadays so many postgraduate courses like masters and certificates about this topic. So it's a trend. It's trending right now. People is always looking to study something regarding project management. So this class could be a beginning for you guys to understand what is project management. So let's start defining what is project management. The definition of a project first. Let's define what is a project. What is a project? Okay, and the answer to that question is really wide. Okay, because a project could be virtually anything. Could be a project. Okay, when my son Federico, he's 3 years old, when he started building a dinosaur out of Lego bricks, that for him that is a project, for example. Okay, so almost everything is a project. So the definition, the most simple definition is a set or a group of activities. A set of activities, the definition would be a set of activities done in order, in order to achieve, to achieve a goal. Okay, a goal. Okay, so for the example I just said, for Federico, the goal is to build the dinosaur out of Lego bricks. Okay, for a company, a goal is to sell more units or to conquer more markets. Okay, or to, well, anything that the company needs to do. Okay, so the definition, the broad definition of project would be this one: a set of activities done in order to achieve a goal, any goal we need to achieve. Okay, but to do these projects, or to actually put into into the march this project, we need to use something that is called resources. All right, we need to use resources. Resources. Right? Resources. And there are four different kinds or types, excuse me, of resources. The first type of resources that we are going to analyze or study this afternoon is human resources. Okay, the people, human resources. Okay, to accomplish all those activities that I mentioned before, I need to hire people. Okay, professional people, maybe technical people, maybe operational people, any kind of people. I need to hire people, and that is my human resource that I'm going to use in that project. Okay. The second type of resources that I'm going to use, I call those financial, right? Financial resources. Financial resources. Okay, there is the money that I need to accomplish that project. Okay, so people and then money. The third kind or type of resource that I'm going to use, we call those physical resources. Okay, physical. Physical resources. Okay, and these physical resources are divided into three different types. Those could be first, vehicles, vehicles, buildings, vehicles, buildings, and something that is called machinery. Okay, machinery is the machines that are used to do something in the company to produce something. Okay, so vehicles, buildings, and machinery. Those three are the physical resources. And there is a fourth type of resource that is called time. Right? Time. Time. Okay. So I need to take into account those four type of resources: human resource, financial, yeah, physical resources, and time. Okay. And given the use of those resources, appears a concept that is called the scope of the project. Do you guys know what is scope? Scope. Okay. In Spanish, alcance, right? The scope. Then, given the use of those resources, I can define the scope of the project. Okay? I can define the scope of a project given the variable time. Okay, I'm going to use, I don't know, 1 year to do this project. Okay, we can set that scope in terms of time. For example, a year or something like that, or 5 months, I don't know. And we also can set that scope in terms of money. I'm going to spend, I don't know, $5 million or pesos, 5 million pesos in money. $5 million or whatever. Okay, those two, time and money, are the two most important variables when you guys define the scope of a project. Okay, but you also need to take into account all the other resources. Okay, people and the physical resources. Okay, but usually those other resources you can buy with the money you're using in that scope. Okay, so when you are looking for somebody or a company to give you the money and finance the project, you need to tell that people the scope. Okay, the time you're going to use for the project and the money you're going to invest. Two different and very important sets of data you need to let know to the investors of the project. Okay, so the definition, resources, scope. Okay, another important thing to analyze and have into account when you talk about a project is the risk management. Okay, another variable we're going to be talking about this afternoon is called risk management. Okay, so risk management. Okay, and every time we talk about risk, there are two variables that we need to talk about. First one is livelihood as you can remember, we talked about weeks ago. Likelihood. Likelihood is how likely is to occur a risk in the project, okay? And the second variable is going to be called impact. Okay, as you guys can remember, in the first class of this semester, we studied a matrix called the risk matrix, okay? Let's have a look at that matrix again really quickly, okay? In that matrix, we have these two variables like this. As you can remember, we put three boxes from the top down, on the three boxes from the left to the right, like this. Okay. Three boxes from the top down and three boxes from the left to the right, like this. The variable we're going to be measuring in the vertical axis always is going to be likelihood. Likelihood. Okay. And the variable we're going to be measuring in the x-axis or horizontal axis is going to be impact, of course. Impact. Okay. And as you guys can remember, the values that those two variables take are low, medium, and high in both cases. Low, medium, and high. Low, medium, and high. And we complete the whole arrangement like this. This make you guys already have it in your notebooks, I believe. This actually is the second one we studied in the first class. Am I right or not? Maybe not. Maybe I'm confused. Okay. This is a risk management matrix. No? Just a new one for you guys. It's a new one. Okay, this matrix compares two variables. Okay, likelihood and impact. Okay, talking about a risk. Okay, likelihood is how likely is to occur a risk, and then impact is the impact that the risk is going to have in the project if that risk actually occurs. Okay, the horizontal axis can take, I mean, the variable impact can take the values low, medium, and high. Okay, and the variable likelihood can take as well the values low, medium, and high. Okay, then when the likelihood and the impact both are low, this quadrant here is called a trivial risk. Let's draw here the conventions for the matrix. Okay, here. That kind of risk is going to be called a trivial risk. Okay, it's an easy risk. It's not that bad. It's easy to fight. Okay. Then we have these two quadrants, the one here and one here. These two quadrants here. We're going to use the X to mark those. These two, when the impact is low and the likelihood is medium, and when the impact is medium and the likelihood is low. These two. Okay, those two, let's draw the convention here. Those two are going to be acceptable risks acceptable. Okay, these two are called acceptable risks. Those two are not that bad already. Okay, so trivial, this one, these two are called acceptable risks. Okay, This three in the whole diagonal of the matrix, we're going to use the convention of dot in the center of the quadrant, like this, dot, dot, dot. And let's write the convention here beside. Those three cases, that risk is going to be called moderate. Okay, moderate risk. Moderate risk. Okay, this other two right here, we're going to be using circle in the middle of the quadrant like this. Circle. And also the convention here into the circle. Those risks receive the name of important risks. Okay, important. Okay, important risks. Okay, and the last one here in this corner, we're going to use the lines in the other way like this. This is the convention up here. That risk that is on top there is going to be called the unacceptable risk. Okay? Unacceptable. Okay, because in that case, both variables are high. Likelihood is high and impact is high. Okay, that means that risk surely is going to occur, and when occurs, it's going to have a big impact. So it is unacceptable, right? Okay, so given this matrix, we can find four different types, five different types of risks. The trivial risks, acceptable, moderate, important, and unacceptable. Okay, you guys following? Okay. Okay, another variable we need to take into account when talking about projects is called the stakeholders engagement. Okay, it's written like this: stakeholders engagement. Stakeholders engagement. Okay, and as you guys can remember, stakeholders are all the groups the company needs to negotiate things with. Okay, so suppliers and brokers and retailers, points of sale, and consumer. That's right. Let's draw in the whole value chain so we can see it in a graphic way. Okay, so remember this graphic that I draw a lot in my classes, in which you can find first providers, then the factory that actually produces something, then the distribution chain that begins with brokers, then retailers, then point of sale, and then consumer. Okay. Have you seen this before? I draw that almost every class. Okay, let's draw the arrows that connect all the value chain like this. And then we can write the name of each stakeholder. Okay, so these three here are called the suppliers. Okay, suppliers. These three here are called suppliers. Right? This one here, almost everything, is the company we are working for, or the company that produces something. So it's the company that negotiates with all the others. All right. So the company that produces the good or the product is the one that negotiates with all the others. This one here, the first step in the distribution chain is going to be called the brokers. Brokers that we, in Spanish, we call those mayoristas, okay? And the second step in the distribution chain is going to be called the retailers. That in Spanish we call minoristas. And the last step before the consumer is going to be called the points of sale. Points of sale. And of course, the last one, the most important, almost everything, every time, is of course the consumer. Okay, those are the external stakeholders. Okay, the external stakeholders, because internally in this company that we call the factory or the company that actually produces some good, inside the company we can find the internal stakeholders, which are the shareholders or the actual owners of the company. Okay, the management and the employees. Okay, inside this company, we find another set of stakeholders that are called the internal. Let's make a zoom of this part here. Here would be the internal stakeholders are going to be the shareholders. Shareholders that we call in Spanish accionistas. Okay. Then we have the management of the company. Management that we in Spanish called la gerencia. Okay. And then we have the rest of the employees of the company. Right, the employees. Those three are the internal stakeholders. Okay, inside the company, we can find those internal stakeholders. Internal stakeholders. Okay, and then the external stakeholders are suppliers, brokers, retailers, points of sale, and consumers. Okay, is that clear? Okay. And then we need to engage all those. Okay, this word here, engagement, is that that means put together all the efforts of all the groups to actually work together to actually make this project successful. Okay, engagement. Engagement is to work together, all stakeholders, internal, external, to make the project work actually. Okay, understood? Okay. The next variable we're going to be addressing this afternoon is called actually planning. Because it's an older thing you need to do when you perform a project. Okay, so planning. Can use this part of the word to talk about planning. Planning. Do you see that marker? Planning. Okay. Here. Okay. Planning. When you guys are planning within a project, the first thing you need to establish is the hierarchy of the project. Hierarchy. Hierarchy. Okay. You guys want to take a picture of the board? I want to. I love my boards. Okay, let me take the picture and then, okay, yes. And then we erase and start from plan. Okay. This one. All right, guys. Now, talking about planning, I was saying planning is one of the tasks you need to accomplish with when you are trying to manage a project. Then planning, the first thing you need to do is establish the hierarchy of the project. Hierarchy, written like this. Hierarchy of importance of people within the project. And then a pyramid is used to draw graphically that hierarchy of importance of people within a project. Okay, so the most important people within the project is going to be the management. Okay, management. Which is also called the high direction. The high direction, like this, high direction. Okay, and that people is in charge of defining the strategy. Okay, the management or high direction. That marker is about today. You need to write that with another marker. Management of or high direction. Management. Or is also called the high direction. And these guys, they're in the management or high direction are in charge of defining the strategy of the project. Okay, strategy. Okay, the guys in the middle are called the empowered bosses. Powered. Empowered bosses. And these guys are in charge of defining the tactics. Tactics within the project. Okay, and then we have the operational or operative phase with the operative employees. Operative employees. And those are in charge of the operation. Okay, employees. Building things, doing things that doesn't need much planning. So the operative phase. Okay, so that's the hierarchy we need to have clear since the beginning in a project. Okay, so the first thing when planning is to define the hierarchy within the project, management, empowered bosses, and operative base. Okay, strategy, tactics, and operation. Okay, and the other thing we need to do within the planning phase is to apply the PDCA cycle. You guys know that one? PDCA cycle. Okay. I know you guys know that, no? But when I draw it, you're going to remember. Okay. It's the one that starts with planning. The drawing is like this. There are four phases. The first one is planning or plan. Then the second phase is do. Then the third one is check. And the fourth and last one is act. Okay. That is why it's PDCA. PDCA. Okay. And we call that a cycle because that set of activities, they occur in a cycle. First thing you do within the project is to plan what you're going to do. Then do is when you execute your plan. Okay. After that, you can check what is going good or bad, and then you act to correct. Actually, this act is more like correct things, correct. And after you correct the mistakes, you plan again. Okay, so that's why it's called a cycle, because in everything you need to plan, do, check, act, and then plan again and start again the cycle again and again. While the project is alive, you need to do this cycle: plan, do, check, act again and again. Okay, and that cycle, the PDCA cycle, gives origin to something that is called continuous continuous improvement. Okay. Continuous improvement. Okay. That we call in Spanish mejora continua. All right. That is planning, doing, checking, and acting again and again is the idea of continuous improvement. Right. All right, guys. So about the project management, we studied this afternoon the definition, the resources, the scope, risk, stakeholders engagement, planning. Okay, but we have another matrix, well, three matrices to go today. Then erase in. I'm going to take the picture and then erase. Okay, we're going to study a matrix that is called the RACI matrix. RACI matrix. You guys know that one? Maybe RACI? No? It's an island. RACI matrix. RACI matrix. All right. RACI matrix. Like this. Matrix. Okay. And that RACI, this word here is actually an acronym. Okay. So the R stands for responsible. The R stands for the word responsible. Okay. The A stands for the word accountable. Okay. The C stands for the word consultant. Consultant. okay? And the I stands for the word informed. Okay, so responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Okay, those are tasks that people accomplish within a company. Okay, they're responsible of doing something. Accountable is the person who actually performs the activity. Okay, the responsible is the one that responds before the management for the task. Okay, but the accountable is the one that actually performs the action. Okay, physically performs the action. Consulted could be one or more people that this accountable consult before performing the action. Okay, he or she asks for something to actually could perform the action. Okay, and after the action is performed, the accountable and the responsible inform to the management. The informed usually is the manager. Okay, the informed, the one that is informed after all the tasks are performed. Okay, so this matrix is drawn like this. Let me draw the RASI matrix and an example of RASI matrix like this. We have, for example, I don't know, 4 tasks in a company, in a factory. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 tasks. Okay, um, like this. No me acuerdo, no hay código. Listo. Then, we have 4 different tasks we have in a company. Okay. The first one is going to be called supply. Okay. Supply. The second is going to be called production. Production. The third is going to be called packaging. The fourth is going to be called storage.
Here's también entre la materia y Racing.
Yes. It's an example of RAS. Storage. Okay. So supply, production, packaging, storage. Okay. And then we have here the people that is going to perform all of these actions, all these tasks. Okay. But here on top, we're going to have the letters of the RASI matrix. For example, responsible, accountable, consultant, and informed. Okay. And for each task, we can define who is going to perform that task within the company. Okay. So for example, the supply, the responsible for supply is buyers. Okay, the buyers. Okay, the buyers, they need to go and buy supply the raw materials. Okay, materials to build the products. Okay, the accountable is going to be maybe financial because they pay for the suppliers. Okay, financial. Okay, the consultant could be production because they're going to let us know how much materials they need to produce the products. So the consultant is going to be production. And informed is going to be management. Always, almost always management. Right, management. For production, the responsible is going to be actually production. Okay. Production. The accountable is going to be plant, the plant of production, people in the operation, so plant. Okay, the consultant is going to be sales, because they are going to let us know how much products, how many products are going to be produced. So sales, consultant. And then again, management is important. Okay, management. Right? Then for packaging, the responsible is packaging. Warehouse. Warehouse is going to be the responsible. No. The responsible is going to be plant. Here, plant. The accountable is warehouse. The consultant is going to be sales again. Sales. And the informed is going to be management. Again. Okay. Now for storage, the responsible is going to be warehouse this time. Yes, warehouse. The accountable is going to be warehouse again. The consultant is going to be sales again, sales. And the informed is going to be management. Okay. Okay. It's just an example. Okay. Usually the informed is just one. The management. Okay. The accountable usually is also just one. Okay. The responsible is also one, but so many cases the consultant are many areas are consulted. Okay, so we don't find Russell matrices in which we find one R, one A, many C's, and one I. Okay, many consultants is usual to find. In Moodle, you guys have many examples of Russell matrix. I would say I already put those in there in Moodle. You can check from there. Okay. Okay, so Russell matrix. We have two more matrices to go. Slide. Okay. The next matrix we're going to be studying this afternoon is called the time management matrix. The time management matrix. Let me erase this one. I'm going to take a picture. Huh? Of course, my pleasure. Okay, guys, the next matrix we're going to be studying this afternoon like I said, it's called the time management matrix. Time management matrix. Okay, this matrix is also called the Eisenhower matrix because a person with that surname was the one that proposed this matrix, Eisenhower. Okay, so when you check a book or something, you can find the time management matrix or the Eisenhower matrix, both names. Okay, you know that one? No, maybe sounds familiar. No. Okay, this matrix actually compares two variables. Okay, one variable is the important things and the urgent things. It compares the important against the urgent. Okay. In class, in the class, no. For instance, it's something like that, but not equal. It's different. Okay. This one compares two variables. Okay. So let's write the arrangement actually. The y-axis and the x-axis as always like this. Y-axis like this, and x-axis like this. Okay. The variable that we're going to be measuring in the y or vertical axis is going to be called the important things. Important. Okay. And the variable we're going to be measuring in the horizontal or x-axis is the urgent things. Okay. Then again, we are going to divide both axes in half like this. Here and here. And the first part of every variable is going to be low, and the other part will be high. Then, for example, for important, this part from the beginning until this part is going to be low. And from here to the top is going to be high. And for urgent, this first part from here until the middle part is going to be low. And from here to the end is going to be high. Okay. We can write the definition of each quadrant. Then for this two here is going to be high importance. Try it. High importance. And then again here, high importance. Okay, and then down here for these two quadrants is going to be low importance and low importance. And again here, low importance. Okay, now we're talking about the variable urgency. Okay. For these two here, is going to be low urgency. They are low urgency. And for this two, it's going to be high urgency in both cases. High. And high urgency. Okay. Okay. Then Mr. Eisenhower says, or said, I believe it's that now, said that this column here, in which we have a task that is not important and not urgent, that what the matrix recommends is to erase that task. Okay, erase. Because that task is not urgent and is not important. You can erase that one. It's not important. Okay. The opposite situation is when you find a task that is important and is also urgent. In that one, the name of the column is do. You need to do that. Do. Okay. Do. In this one here, one is important, but it's not urgent. For that one, you are going to schedule that task. Okay, schedule. Right? You're going to do it, but you're going to do it later. Okay, schedule. Because it's important, but not urgent. Okay. And in this case, in the last case, the task is not important, but it's urgent. Okay. In that case, you're going to delegate. Okay. Delegate. Going to delegate that task. Okay. Somebody else is going to perform that task, but not the management of the company. Okay. Could be an outsourcing, actually. Okay. Could be an outsourcing. Here, delegate. Okay. That is the Eisenhower matrix. And we have one more matrix to go this afternoon, and it's called the matrix that compares two variables, efficiency and effectiveness. Two very important concepts in management. And can I erase it? This one now? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then the last matrix we'll be going to study this afternoon is called the efficiency versus effectiveness. Efficiency versus effectiveness. Matrix. Okay, this matrix was proposed by a person that is called Stephen Covey. Maybe you guys know him? No? Stephen Covey is his name. Stephen Covey. It's also known because he proposed, actually, she wrote a book that is called The Seven Habits of the Highly Efficient People. Seven Habits. It's a book. Okay. Well, the matrix, we again draw an arrangement with the y-axis like this and x-axis. Okay, it's the same actually. The same as the one in the right side of the board. It's almost the same in drawing. Both axes. Okay. The variable that we're going to be measuring in the y or horizontal or vertical axis is going to be efficiency. Efficiency. And the variable we're going to be measuring on the x or horizontal axis is going to be effectiveness. Effectiveness. Okay, and then again, we divide both axes in half like this. These markers are variable. And like this. Okay, and then again, we say that the variable effectiveness from here until the middle is going to be low. And here is going to be high, and the same for the variable efficiency, right? From here on the beginning until the middle is going to be low. And then on the upper side is going to be high. Okay, but before we compute the matrix, let's define what is efficiency and what is effectiveness for, in this case, for Mr. Spenkovic. He says efficiency is do the right things. Okay, actually choose the right things to do or do the right things. Let's write that. Efficiency in this case is do the right things. Do the right things. And on the other hand, effectiveness is doing things right. Okay, those things you choose to do those right. Okay, doing the things right. Okay, knowing that, let's complete the inner part of the matrix. Okay, so for these two quadrants here, it's going to be high efficiency. Okay, so high efficiency. And here again, high efficiency. Okay, in this two here, it's going to be low efficiency for both. And low efficiency. Okay. Now talking about effectiveness. These two here are going to be low effectiveness. Okay. Low effectiveness. What was it? That sound. Low effectiveness. Here and here. Low effectiveness. Okay. And these two here are going to be high effectiveness. Both. Okay. So high effectiveness. Okay, and well, the author, Stephen Covey, also gave names for each quadrant. Let's check those. Okay, in the quadrant that where is high efficiency and high effectiveness, so we have both in high level. The name of this quadrant is going to be peak performance. Peak performance, very good performance. Peak performance. Hmm? And that was here. We have low effectiveness and efficiency, both variables in low. It's going to be called poor performance. Poor performance. Poor performance. Okay. When you have high efficiency but low effectiveness, that term is going to be called wasted efforts. Wasted efforts. Okay, that is why we choose the wrong activity to do. Okay, but we're doing it right. So it's a wasted effort. Okay, wasted effort. Leslie? Okay, and the last quadrant, the one here, with low efficiency and high effectiveness, is going to be called lost opportunities. Lost opportunities. Okay, because in this case, we actually choose the right thing to do, but we're doing it wrong. Okay, so it's a lost opportunity. Okay. In this case, we choose the wrong activity and we also doing it wrong. Okay. In this case, we choose the right thing and we do it right. And in this two, like we said before, in this one, we choose the wrong activity and we do it right. And in this one, we choose the right activity where we're doing it wrong. Okay. So with the effort and with opportunities. Okay. And guys, that's it for today. It's the end of the class. Next week we have the second presentation. We're going to let me finish the recording and we talk about that. Chao, Luisa.
Chao, profe, muchas gracias.
Que estés bien. Acá está conectada por Teams. Ah, es que por favor, si no, no. No, otra Luisa está conectada acá por el Teams.